Hi guys, it's Amy. I am here to do a Confessions of a Fat Girl Diary, um, the WLS tag. I have to have notes, so bear with me because I'm going to look down a lot. I'm just going to dive in because the longer I stare at my list, the harder it gets. And I apologize, I am sweating like all over the place. It is like mid 90s here, and I have cats, so most of the time I don't have the air up a huge amount. I just open the windows and go with it. And it is really freaking hot today. Um, so I'm just gonna dive in. I once maxed out a credit card in a month on nothing but drive-through meals, um, which leads very directly into number two, um, which is, I was kind of a hobbit, so I had second breakfast and second lunch, 11sies, and midnight snacking, and I still struggle with midnight snacking. I wake up in the middle of the night and I stagger to the refrigerator and pull something out and eat it, and I have woken up covered in protein bar. Even post bypass, I have woken up covered in pieces of protein bar that I had a couple of bites of in the middle of the night and fell asleep still holding. So that's really embarrassing. And I did the smorgasbord, of the drive-through buffet, because I didn't want anyone to know how much I was eating. I would go through, at the time that I was my highest, I was living fairly close to a Wendy's, and so my big thing, no pun intended, was the Big Bacon Classic combo, and I would order that with the large size so that I could have a bucket of soda. It was Diet Coke. I had moved from buckets of Mountain Dew to buckets of Diet Coke, and by buckets I mean 44 ounces or 52 ounces, the big cups. I would then go to McDonald's because I liked their French fries a little bit better. And so I would go to McDonald's and I would order some fries. And of course, if you're going to have fries, you should have a sundae so that you can dip your fries in the sundae. And so I would get a sundae, and probably a couple of cookies. And I would have already eaten almost all of the fries from Wendy's by the time I got to McDonald's, and I would carry a sweater or blanket or something in my car and just cover over the bag, the fast food bag, so that it would be like, oh, well, I don't need a soda because I've already got one. As if they even cared, but I felt like I was hiding it. And then I would drive around, and if all I wanted was one type of fast food, then I would drive through 2 or 3 drive-throughs and order a small or normal sized amount of food at each one, and then hide the bags from the previous place underneath the blanket or sweater that I had. So that was the thing I did. A lot of people have mentioned closet eating as well, and that is also, that's exactly what that is. Other than the drive-through smorgasbord, it's eating in secret and hiding it so that no one will know. And I am probably about to have a cat walk in front of the camera. Okay, no, we're good. So I never ate. I still have a hard time eating in front of other people. It's a little bit better, but I would never eat in front of my friends. I had a friend who, when I was living with her, she had gotten pregnant, and so she was hormonal and kind of crazy. But I was eating a cheeseburger in front of her once because I felt comfortable, and I still remember this. I still tease her about having said it too, that she was a real treat when she was pregnant. Kitty, no, kitty. Sorry. So I was eating a cheeseburger in front of her, and she said, you know, you wouldn't be so fat if you didn't eat all of that shit. If you would eat right and eat healthy, then you wouldn't be so fat. You're always talking about how you want to be on a diet or how you are on a diet, and I see you eat cheeseburgers and crap food all the time. And, you know, like 2 weeks later, I moved out because that really stung. I mean, it was valid, but it really hurt. So I have a hard time eating in front of other people, so I would hide to eat. I would sometimes, I was married before my weight loss surgery, and I would always volunteer to go to the store, and I always went through a drive-thru on my way to the store to get groceries, and I would eat in the car before I went in, and I would justify it to myself saying, well, you shouldn't go to the grocery store hungry. Yeah. I sometimes would binge eat huge amounts of food all at once, and then instantly feel so much shame attached to how much food I had just eaten that I would make myself throw up. I had a specific toothbrush that I used for this purpose, which is really gross. And I don't do that anymore, which is nice. I have one that is, I have never been comfortable. I mean, I was actually the skinny kid, and it wasn't until I hit my very late teens, early 20s that I started really putting on weight, and I haven't owned a full-length mirror since I was living in the dorms. And this is actually not true anymore, because I went out yesterday after I had written out all of these, because I did this a couple of days ago. I wrote out all of these, and I went specifically to the store and bought a full-length mirror because it's ridiculous that I'm afraid to look at myself. And then even after weight loss surgery, the very first week, I haven't done this since, but the very first week that I was allowed to have soft foods, I tried to convince myself that chicken Alfredo was very much like mac and cheese, in that you could puree that in your mouth, and that's actually not the case, and it's way too rich. And I had horrible dumping syndrome, and I have not felt the same about chicken Alfredo since. So, you know, I don't really eat pasta. Sometimes I buy it, and then it sits in my cupboard until it expires, or I give it away so that, you know, somebody else can eat it. But sometimes I still impulse buy things like that in the store. There are a lot more of confessions. Those are the ones that I wrote down. I will say this: I do not recognize myself in the mirror. When I look at myself, when I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror, I don't recognize myself. I don't recognize my face specifically. I still see myself as I was at my highest weight, at 336 pounds. And so it seems unreal to me that this is me, that this is my face, that this is my body. When I am fully dressed, at 165 pounds, that's 165.1 this morning. I'm not sure if that's lost since my last video or not. I've tried to make several videos and then failed and not liked them, and been super self-conscious and not posted them, which is ridiculous since I started a channel for the purpose of documenting this in the first place. But 165, guys. But even at 165 pounds, I feel pretty good when I'm dressed, fully dressed. I look at myself and I'm like, damn, that's not me, but I'd do me. So, yeah. Um, but at the same time, I don't recognize myself unless I'm naked. When I'm naked, I can see all of the rolls of skin, and I still have that mother's apron. I guess you would get a tummy tuck, or not a tummy tuck, but a paniculectomy or a 360 body lift. I think you would get that to remove it, but I still have that where I've got that layer of fat and skin, and I can't tell how much is skin and how much is fat that just hangs below my belly button. Um, and it's gross and disgusting, and I hate it. Um, but it's also a part of me, and it's a part of me that I recognize because I was still, I guess, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm still shaped the same way that I was before my gastric bypass. There's just a lot less of me, and I know that there's a lot less of me. Um, Although you would hope that this was the biggest thing that pissed me off. I lost all that weight, and I am still having to wear a G cup bra. Do you have any idea how hard it is to find a 32G? Like, seriously, that's rough. Um, it's just as hard as trying to find a 44G, which is what I was before. So that's completely way too much information about my boobs, and I'm sorry. So you probably should just, I should edit myself. But I'm probably not going to because I haven't figured out YouTube editor yet, and I haven't watched any of the Creator Academy videos. So I noticed that I hadn't done a full body shot, so I'm just going to put that here at the end. I'm not wearing anything special, no shapewear, just shorts and a tank top. So, you can see like skin, back, front. So this is me. Have a great day, guys. Have a great week, and I will talk to you later.